Okay, hello everyone. Hello, and welcome. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing good. I'm doing good. This is, of course, Darkside Phil. And today's stream is live today. We begin something fun. Today we begin something interesting. Today we do the final DLC for The Witcher 3, a game that was pretty much one of everyone's favorite RPGs of last year for sure. Definitely an epic, work when it comes to attention to detail, when it comes to the amount of content in a game, right? When it comes to story and characters and graphics, The Witcher 3 really excelled. I even said last year, I really loved the game. It was definitely one of my top games of the year. The only actual issue that I had with Witcher 3 was that I really did feel that they didn't really advance the gameplay at all. I felt that it was a lot more... Oh, by the way, there's no PS4 audio, I know people are saying. I know, this is a quick setting I have to adjust to fix that. But anyway, yeah, it was... The one thing is I don't think the combat of the game really was advanced to the point where I felt like it was the best RPG ever, which a lot of people were saying last year. Oh, Witcher 3, 10 out of 10, game of the year, best game ever. And I was like, you know, when I play an RPG, yes, I absolutely enjoy the story, I enjoy the characters, I enjoy the graphics, I enjoy all of these things. But I was kind of underwhelmed, quite honestly, by the combat in a lot of ways. I did not think that the combat of Witcher 3 was like advanced. It felt like almost like it was an outdated combat engine, you know. It didn't seem like it was modernized. It seemed like they were trying to go for a more archaic kind of combat engine. And I didn't particularly like that. I thought that they could have done a better job. I did. But outside of that, everything else was amazing. And let's face it, CD Projekt Red has done an absolutely outstanding job with this game, right? The amazing amount of content in the game, the amazing amount of side questing, and the fact that CD Projekt Red really put a massive amount of work into the game. I definitely like that about the game. I think that CD Projekt Red should be, what's the word? Not applauded, commended for being an actual group of game developers that care so much about the product they put out. First of all, they took their time developing the game. They didn't rush it out for a quick profit like a lot of these companies do these days. When the game came out, it felt polished. It felt amazing when it came to really telling these stories and these characters, and you know, a lot of positives to be said about Witcher 3, absolutely. So, I played the first DLC last year, if you don't remember, and it was a lot of fun. It was about this demon, remember, who had taken hold of someone. You had to try to free them, and it was pretty unique in that regard. It really was. And it was long, and it was interesting, and there was side questing. There was a lot of stuff in it that was really worth checking out, and I really enjoyed that DLC overall. But then we heard there was going to be another one for those who bought the season pass, right? It was going to be supposedly the biggest one, but we never had a release date. We're waiting and waiting. Like, when the hell is this DLC coming out? Is it still coming out? I mean, it's been so damn long since it was originally announced. Is it still coming out? What's the deal here? And then finally we had some information that was coming out this month. We're like, whoa. That's quite a long time to wait for a DLC for a game, but let's hope that it's worth it. Now, personally, I haven't played it yet, so I can't tell you, oh yeah, it's great or whatever, but a few people who've already played this have kind of contacted me and said that it was quite outstanding, that they really enjoyed it, and that they think I'm going to enjoy it too. So that's good. That's a good sign. When I get people going out of their way to tweet me or message me and tell me that the game is outstanding, that's a good sign, right? So, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to today. The way it's going to work, FYI. Supposedly, first of all, they've redesigned this game from the ground up, and what I mean by that is the graphical engine has been improved to the point where there's more frames per second. Okay. And apparently also, the actual graphical rendering engine is a different graphics engine that they created. Now, a lot of people have been talking about it and been like, there's no way that that the reason that they did this is just for the DLC. That it's got to be because maybe this engine is going to be used for another game coming up, another project of theirs. So that's cool. I mean, that's cool, obviously, if that's the truth. And the graphics are amazing. I mean, how cool is that you're getting a new graphical engine for a DLC? That's pretty wild. I mean, never. When do you ever have a game where there's a DLC where the graphics are dramatically improved from the main game? I mean, never. I don't think I've ever heard of that before, right? Pretty wild. So let's see, firsthand. But the other thing is, I've heard that this DLC, if you do all of the content, all right? Now I'm not just talking about go through and do the main mission, all right? I'm saying, if you do all the content, the side questing and everything, that it could be 30 hours of gameplay. Holy shit. 30 hours. That's like unheard of. 30 hours of gameplay. That is pretty out of control. And I'm wondering, you know, will all the gameplay be worth it, or will there be a lot of those kind of, oh, it's a generic monster hunt, you know, and it's one that's very similar to ones you've done before, or will it be unique and interesting and different, and will it really, you know, will it be one of those things that hooks you and you want to keep doing it? Because I'll be honest here, when I was playing the original Witcher 3, there were some missions that were really bad. You know, go out and get this generic item from a bunch of generic enemies and do this and do that. Or even the monster hunts, some of them were very unique, but then some of them ended up being pretty generic, right? But the actual story-based side missions, I absolutely loved, and I got hooked on them, and I wanted to do every one. And if you remember, I think Witcher 3 was actually my longest playthrough of last year. I think. I'm trying, I guess if you would compare maybe Fallout 4 to Witcher 3, those would be the two games that were the longest, most drawn-out playthroughs. I guess, you know what, now that I say that, obviously I played Persona 4 too, so now I probably shouldn't even said that. So, here's the deal, everyone. I'm saying this up front so you understand, especially those of you who are on stream right now. I know that you're probably the most interested in this playthrough and you want to know how I'm going to cover it, okay? Well, today we're playing it for 3 to 3.5 hours on stream. Tonight I'm going to be playing it for another 2 hours off stream. I'm just going to play it off stream. So there's going to be a lot of Witcher coming today on DSPGaming. Tomorrow I'm doing the new Hitman episode 3, which was released today, but I'm going to do that tomorrow on stream. Tomorrow night I'm going to play more Witcher. So you're talking, that'll be around 7 hours-ish of this DLC. Thursday is completely up in the air. Thursday, I may do Fallout 4 mods on Xbox One if they're any good. Right now, people are checking them out, and I'm not going to waste my time unless I hear that there's some good ones. Supposedly, Ibuki may be released as Street Fighter 5 this Thursday. If she is, I might be checking her out. I don't know what I'm doing on Thursday, okay? Because, you know, seriously, it's such a weird week for me, where it's so uncertain what's going on because we don't know what's actually happening with all the stuff that's happening at once, right? Keep in mind, Friday is my Indies Gaming Marathon. For around 6 to 7 hours, I'll be playing indie games, including Rocket League, Super Hot, Salt and Sanctuary, and a fourth one. Right now, it looks like Stardew Valley is leading the poll. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that I'm playing that because I don't know how much I'm going to get caught up in the other games. So I'm going to be playing at least the top 3. So the top 3 I just mentioned, okay? So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going to be, you know, all during that marathon, but it's going to be a fun one. And then, of course, I'm taking time off this weekend, leading into next week. I won't be back for gameplay until the release of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I'll cover that for a few days, but then I'm taking more time off because my parents will be visiting, and I'm going to try to get a lot of stuff done while they're here. We're going to try to go out and do stuff. You know, there's a lot of things. I haven't seen my parents for a year and a half that I'm sure that you know, we could talk about and they could help me with, and we're going to go to dinner and do fun stuff, so that's going to be next week, okay? Now, when I come back from my time off, all right, which is going to be Sunday, June 12th, I'm going to hit the ground running because that E3 is happening, okay? So I'll probably return with a gameplay stream that day. More than likely, it'll either be Witcher 3 or Mirror's Edge Catalyst, depending on what people want. And I'm going to be covering the Bethesda press conference that evening. I'll be doing my usual vlog of coverage of the Bethesda press conference like I usually do vlogs of them, right? Every press conference. And then all that E3 week, you know, the first 2-3 days of that week, I'll be covering E3 while balancing with gameplay. And then I'll go right back into full-time gameplay with Witcher 3 and Mirror's Edge, balanced through the rest of that month until the few new releases. There is Mighty Number 9. There's also Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens. So there's a lot of stuff coming up in June after E3. And by the way, when E3 happens, typically a bunch of new stuff gets released too, like indie games and stuff, where you get demos and betas and stuff all released that week. So I get the feeling it's going to be crazy busy. All right. So that's the deal, everyone. Thank you for being here. I'm excited for Witcher 3. I hope you're excited too. Okay? I'm not going to go into super long plugs because I just want to get started with gameplay. The one thing that I will say is, because it is actually pertinent to today, is that today is the final day to pledge to my Patreon for the month of May. In fact, as of right now, there's only 11 and a half hours left, actually less than that, to pledge to my Patreon for the month of May at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. So if you were interested in getting in on this event, because, number one, obviously if you want to get perks, such as getting text or verbal thank yous in videos, getting a private Q&A video made, getting in on my next episode of Ask the King, which is going to be the last week of June, and getting your question answered for sure on the show. Or if you want premium forum access so that you can vote on events, such as right now, the Indies Marathon. Those patrons are voting on the games, right? You need to pledge the next 11 and a half hours, or else it's going to close off, and then you're going to have to wait till the end of June, all right? So FYI, if you're interested, you got to pledge within the next 11 and a half hours. Also, I'll be honest with everyone here. It looks like we may hit our goal for the month of May, the funding goal, and it looks like the multiplayer event that I'd like to do may be going on in early July. I'd love for it to happen. But the funding has been going up and down like crazy in the past 2 days. What's happening is a lot of new people are pledging and saying, wow, I want to pledge, I want to hit the goal, I want to be part of this event, yada yada. So they're pledging. But a lot of people from last month who pledged to be part of the Indies Marathon event are like, okay, well, I pledged a big amount last month, now I'm going to lower my pledge. So it's like people increasing and decreasing. So it's kind of negating. It's like, oh, it's above the goal, we're below the goal. We're above the goal, we're below the goal. It's like a, you know, what's a sound wave? Remember you look at, like, when you look at a sound wave drawn out? That's what it is. It's like highs and lows. So I hope we hit it. I get the feeling we're going to. We have hit it every single month since I started Patreon in February of 2015, and we have a lot of people who want to see this event happen, and I think we're going to do it. So I'm not too worried about it, but FYI, the more the merrier. If you want to get in on this event, you got to pledge $5 by the end of today, 11 hours, right? So please consider it at patreon.com/DarksidePhil, and keep in mind, it's not just about the events. You know, it supports me in this business. It allows me to continue to do this full time. So thank you to those who have pledged, okay? Alright, last but not least, I just want to give everyone a status update on KO Gaming. If you're not aware, KO Gaming, you know, has gone viral. Most people know this now. At least the video about the Homefront the Revolution, my review on it, is the top viewed video on YouTube for Homefront the Revolution. It's official now. It's beaten every single other video about Homefront the Revolution. It's got over 630,000 views and still climbing. I can't believe it. Every day this video is getting like 20 to almost 50,000 views. I'm still blown away that it's growing at this rate. It's not exponential anymore, but it is still growing, and I've gained over 10,000 new subscribers on KO Gaming since this video went viral on YouTube. I'm very happy about this. Thank you to those of you who are part of it, who watched it, who spread the word about it. You guys are awesome. Of course, now I'm taking time off, which sucks, because, you know, it would be great if this, okay, time to start making constant videos for KO Gaming, and now I'm taking time off. So, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I already explained on the channel. I made a promo video explaining that I'm coming back E3 week with E3 coverage on that channel. So, hopefully people will stick around and check out those videos. Alright. You know what? I just realized I drank half my bottle of water and I didn't start yet. I'm going to run downstairs. I think I'm going to grab a seltzer water and then we're going to start, okay? So don't go anywhere, everyone. I'm going to end the pre-stream, run down quick, grab it. It'll take a minute, not even. Come back up, and then we will begin with Witcher 3, Blood and Wine. Both things stain, so look out. Don't spill them. All right, I'll be right back.